second time to play Iceland. Looking forward to it again?
Very much so, yeah. I think we have to set something right here. The result at the end is not a bad result. 3-2. They're ranked in between Denmark and Belgium, just to put it into perspective for the people at home. So if you look at our game against Denmark and against Belgium and you compare that with this game, then we're very disappointed because we started not good. And that has all to do with all different backgrounds. Players whose league was stopped early, the Iceland players are all still in league. Players that were overloaded on one side of the globe and then having to travel. But those are no excuses, because if you get to a situation, you have to plan to be at your best in the national team. And planning at your best, that is something that we've spoken about. What is it? What is it actually that happens to you, inside of you, you're not conscious of it when things like that happen and you have such an imbalance, and how that shows on the pitch, the consequence of it. And we've spoken about what to do against it. So we really addressed what happened in the first games. In that sense, it helps us to make a step forward, but the result is there. In the second half, we had many chances. Over the whole game, we counted 12 chances. We coded 12 chances and 6 opportunities, whereas Iceland had only, believe it or not, 6 real chances. And that shows the fact that we're so disappointed about that first half, and so disappointed that because of that we lost the game. It shows also that we're still growing, and that sounds strange. But if you compare it with the Denmark and Belgium game, where we looked in control, we hardly created chances. So in that sense, the wind was a very difficult factor, but that can happen also against Sweden or Finland or Slovakia or Georgia. And you need to deal with that, and you have to be smart. So those things we've all spoken about, and I think it helps us to be better prepared.
In a funny way, just as you've alluded to there, over the past year, from the Germany game up to now, you can see the improvement in the performances in each of the games. And there's certain factors that have kind of maybe gone against us, that we haven't won the games. But as you say, you can see the performances individually and collectively improving. Yeah,
definitely. Young players are knocking on the door, which is also very good. And yeah, you're right. We need to see the development, and that is why we chose for this game. We know that we've lost the last games, but it was twice against Germany, Denmark, Belgium, Iceland. They're all ranked far above us. The Ukraine game is the only one that we can really blame ourselves for. But the fact that we get goals against due to our own mistakes, Friday again, it shows that we are on the fringe of making that step. And I'm very happy again that we've chosen this game. We could have chosen for a game in which we would win, but that would not teach us what we've now...
Because some people might say that, would it help the confidence of the players by, playing an opponent that you would be, just to get that winning feeling again?
Yeah, but what is confidence? Confidence is being sure of your task, being sure of executing that at your best level and growing in that. You will not get that against lesser opponents. Yeah, your feeling will be, wow, we're doing so well. But then if you face Finland and Sweden later, Slovakia, Georgia, that is the measure point. So we do appreciate that people think like it is 6 games in a row that we've lost, but we for ourselves, we see the grow every single game, like you say. People in the country see it also, and of course everybody wants a win. Everybody wants now the result, and we're going for that. The thing is only in the back of our minds is we need to qualify, and we have only a few moments. Again, I want to highlight FIFA's taken 3 slots out over the years, which means 6 games for the countries that are just under the level. The best countries will have their tournaments. They will get their games. So UEFA really need to think of how to deal with that, because you want to close those gaps, right? And the only way to do that is playing international games.
You mentioned there the young players knocking on the door. Part of friendly games does give you the opportunity to experiment or look at new players and players in different positions as well. That must be one of those pleasing aspects of the last 3 games now going into the 4th game.
Yeah. If if you look at Eva Omoani, it was the need to put her in because we were hesitating. Is it too early? We actually brought her to gain experience, but the need of the game asked for her to step in. And the calm on the ball gives us so much time that is a real boost, let's say a boost in the learning process of this team, to having players like her. And there's a few other players knocking on the door, and you will see them soon.
And even you have, it's funny is because you've got the senior players, you've got players that are probably kind of in and around, and then you've got the newer players. But even the players that were in and around, like say Heather Payne, she now has that goal. She now, even herself, she says she now feels settled in the squad now. Yeah. So that's been a period of transition for you as well, isn't it? Those players in between to become regular squad players.
Yeah, and their performance becomes more stable, and therefore they become regular squad players. The only way I want to highlight again, the only way you get that is against strong opposition. And that strong opposition, you take then also the defeats, and I appreciate very much that we do counter defeats, which is top sport. It's all about winning, it's only about winning. But at this stage for us it's the most important thing that things like this happen, that the core players grow under the pressure, that the new players come in under the pressure, so that when the time is there that we have to perform, that the players are used to it and ready for it.
Another part of the squad, the makeup, certainly over the last year, has been the introduction of Women's National League players. Jeremy Finn has been a standout in that regard. Some of the poor performances when in the starting lineup, and as you say, some of the players are knocking on the door. It's so encouraging for the National League to give them the confidence that they can actually, force their way into your plans if they play well.
It shows also how the league develops. The contact with the coaches is very good. We discuss things with each other, and of course, because of COVID, that was on a minimal base, and I only want to improve it. Maybe people have seen that I'm visiting the clubs when I'm in the country, and I put that all in those few days. Luckily, I can come in earlier now, with COVID getting a bit loosened up, and I hope in the future we can do that more and more often. But other than that, we also have phone and video call, and we see all the games. So I'm quite happy the way things develop. But I want to highlight we need next to the training sessions, 2 or 3 training sessions in a week. The players have to train with boys to get this momentum going and to lift also the level of the Women's National League, of course.
You mentioned the consultation with the coaches with that, so that's something that you want to work with them going forward with regard to that training sessions?
Yeah, but it is outside their training days, so it's not on their training days. It is when they do not train at the club. The likes of, let's say, Katie McCabe, she's training 6 times a week under the highest pressure. So if you train 2 times a week, not at Arsenal level, but the Women's National League level is good level, but not Arsenal level, and we all appreciate that. Then you have to put in something that at least 1 or 2 times a week the pressure is up to, let's say, the Arsenal level. And that means...
You've seen improvements of the girls that have done that, haven't
you? Yeah, you can see the ones that are knocking on the door are the ones who've always trained with boys. And that is Ellen, Eva, Jessica, they're the ones knocking on the door. They've invested in training with boys next to their club training. So it does pay off, it really does pay off. And it is not harmful for the clubs, the opposite. Very important is to know that from research it's shown that the players who train with boys, that they are less injured in general than the players who do not train with boys. So that worry is out. We have the insurance done. Every player is insured from the home-based sessions, under 17 and under 19 and the women's squad. So the door is open to find the right places for them.
At the end of when we finish up this camp, what would you like to have achieved by the end of the last game now?
Well, we go for a win. Let's that be sure. We need to win. But I think that what I said, that we know where the new players stand, if they can step up already, and what we need to have is the stability in the way forward.